What's up guys, Brian Grant here of ContestChampion.com, and today I just want to show you a bit of a hidden gem when it comes to patch 12.0. This is something I've wanted to show you guys for a few weeks now, which is Classic Captain America. Now, Classic Captain America actually got quite the sizable buff with patch 12.0 that most people don't really notice because most people like to use the World War II version of Captain America, but not me guys, I like Classic Cap. So, what actually changed about this champion? Well, his perfect block chance went from 11% before patch 12.0 all the way up to 40%. Like, that's actually a massive buff, guys. That's so strong of a buff, right? It's not just the ability to reduce all incoming damage to 0, though. That's pretty cool in itself, but the interesting part about Classic Cap is how that perfect block chance plays around with his other abilities here. You can see right below his 40% chance there, it says, perfect block has a 90% chance to fatigue the opponent. And what fatigue does, it doesn't really matter all that much, to be perfectly honest, but it puts a debuff on the opponent called fatigue for 12 seconds, right? And 12 seconds, that's a pretty long duration debuff, right? His special attacks. All special attacks have a 30% chance to stun the opponent for 3 seconds. That's no rinky-dink stun, guys. 3-second stun is pretty strong, actually, which is 3.5 seconds if you have Stupefy, right? And the chance to stun is increased by 40% if the target is fatigued. So, without fatigue, 30% chance, not too reliable. With fatigue in the opponent, 70% chance, still not perfectly reliable, but like 70% chance is pretty good, right? So you have a 70% chance to stun on all of your special abilities for 3.5 seconds if you have Stupefy. That's enough duration that you can actually get, you can weave in like 2 full combos while the opponent is stunned, and then use another special ability, stun them again, and then keep that chain going, right? You're not going to be able to permanently stun lock them or anything, but you definitely can pump out some serious damage with this champion. And it's not as strong as if you guys have seen my Hulk footage against Realm of Legends Juggernaut, it's not quite as strong as that. However, Hulk also doesn't have the defensive capabilities of Captain America here. So we need to talk about a few more things that make OG Cap the champion that he has become, right? First off, signature ability. More perfect block chance depending on how much health you're missing. So mine is currently at level 60, and there's an increased 46.85% chance based on lost health. So we're talking best case scenario, 40 plus 46% chance. We're at an 86% chance, right? That's really high, right? When you're at low health, most of your attacks, most of the incoming attacks, if you're blocking, they're going to be reduced to 0, guys. But it gets better. We need to talk about synergies, and we need to talk about masteries as well. So not just the perfect block ones either. There's some other cool interactions with some of these things here. So let's talk synergies first. Now, synergies, I don't think it's ever a good idea to have an all-defensive synergy team going on, right? I feel like that's a waste because you do want some offensive masteries, or I'm sorry, synergies in there as well. So, starting out with my what I like to call like my holy trinity here of synergy champions, with Classic Cap giving some crit chance with Superior Iron Man, Daredevil giving some crit damage with Superior Iron Man, and then Superior Iron Man playing with both of them, increasing crit rating with Classic Cap, and more crit damage with Daredevil here. So you're getting a large amount of crit and crit damage just by having these 3 champions in here, and then you can double up with Superior Iron Man and gain even more crit and crit damage. If you add a Thor onto the team, however, you can add another 5% perfect block chance for both of these Superior Iron Man. So we have another 10% perfect block chance. Now we're up to a 50% baseline perfect block with an increased 46% chance based on Cap's health, right? Not only that, but Daredevil here also has like a pretty decent perfect block chance himself. So Daredevil too, with this kind of synergy team, he has 40% baseline, so he is also now up to 50%. So now you have 2 champions on your team that have a really strong block chance, right? Or perfect block chance. Thor on top of that, with all the increased crit and crit damage and stuff like that, I'm sure he would hit like a truck if I actually had a 4-star version for him to test out, right? But it seems like he would actually be like a really good fit to actually do some decent damage on the team. But in any case, let's get back to just talking about Captain America here. So Captain America, 50% chance perfect block, increased by 46% chance if your health is low. Well, that puts us up to 96. And those of you familiar with the defensive mastery tree here know that there's an ability here called Perfect Block, or a mastery here called Perfect Block, that can increase it by an additional 4%. That puts us at 100%, guys. That puts us at 100% if Captain America's life is low. interesting, very interesting. I wonder if that actually works, right? It's one of those things where it's, I mean, I don't know if it's actually worth like using that as a strategy to you know, have low health at all times just to block perfectly at all times. But if you get in that situation, if you get to the point where your health is low, you're going to be reducing damage like crazy. You're going to be taking like 0 damage pretty much at all times. So it's pretty good stuff, actually. It's really good. Not only that, though, there are some other synergies here, or some other masteries that have synergies with Captain America's ability set. So if we go to the utility tree first, parry here has increased stun duration based on your perfect block chance. And normally, that part is meaningless. Normally, people put more points into parry for the increased damage reduction, right? But with Captain America, because his perfect block chance is so high, this extra stun duration is actually noticeable. That plays very nicely with his perfect block. On top of that, though, guys, there's more, right? Right now, I don't have Resonate in my build just because I'm using the Suicide Masteries here. But if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I'm a pretty big fan of Resonate and Inequity here. So Inequity, it reduces the opponent's attack based on how many debuffs are on the opponent, right? So we have Fatigue on his normal ability set, so that's gonna play a role with Inequity here. We're gonna reduce 6% damage, right? But not only that, when you are attacking, you are going to apply this Resonate debuff on them, which counts as a second debuff. So Resonate here also potentially lowers their attack by up to 13%. And then that's the second debuff included with Fatigue for triggering you know, Inequity times 2, which is another 12% attack reduction on the opponent. So we're talking about having a very high baseline tanking ability here with his perfect block chance, and then also reducing their attack for the times that you're not going to be blocking perfectly. Like, Captain America is actually a defensive powerhouse with the right masteries, right? With Resonate and Equity, and having parry here, you can get those increased stuns. Having Stupefy, you can extend those stuns. You can get some extra combos in. And I was actually able to take down Juggernaut in Realm of Legends as a rank 4 Captain America in one try. It was a slow fight. It was a very slow fight. It took a lot of hits to actually do. But it was doable, guys. It actually was doable. What can I say, man? Captain America, he's a very strong champion. With those increased stuns, increased perfect block, he's right up there with World War II Cap. Now, it's still going to be a debate about which is better and stuff like that, but the point is, Classic Cap, he definitely got buffed, and he is what I consider to be one of the many hidden gems of patch 12.0 here. And if you guys like this video, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Take care, guys.